From WBAY TV, coverage you can count on. Action 2 News starts right now with breaking news.
Flooded cars, flooded homes, flooded streets. We have breaking news on Action 2 News this morning. Severe flash flooding on Green Bay's east side overnight after nearly 7 inches of rain.
The water is receding, and Green Bay police say the city streets are back open. But here's what you need to know. More than 100 firefighters working overnight to make sure everyone is safe, going door to door with boats on city streets. About 100 people were evacuated overnight. Many are staying at a Red Cross shelter at Celebration Church on Humboldt Road in Green Bay.
Green Bay Metro Fire Department says the area most affected is about a 6 or 7 block area around the Main and Mason Street areas. That would include Abrams Street, they said, Finger Road, Oakdale, and Newberry Avenues. The flooding stranded dozens of cars, many of them in parking lots of businesses on Main and Mason Streets. We're going to check in live with Kristen. She's been out there this morning. Tell us about the current situation.
Good to have you with us on this Tuesday. I'm Tammy Elliott.
I'm Kevin Rumpa.
I'm Catherine Bracho. As we said, no city streets flooded, but County X, County Highway X in that area of Glenmore and Shirley is closed just west of Dickinson Road. And that's all we're hearing at the moment. But you need to watch for that possibility of standing water on the roads this morning, Steve.
Yeah, we just got too much rain in too short of a period of time, and that could be an issue as you drive into work this morning and bring the kids into school. So with this in mind, it is a weather-aware day for your morning commute. Plus, there's some thunder showers this morning in the forecast from Green Bay and south. Mostly cloudy and much cooler compared to yesterday with a forecast high of 69 degrees. So here's the last 3 hours of the satellite and radar loop. We had some strong thunderstorms come through Waushara, Marquette, Green Lake, and Fond du Lac counties. They have pushed to the south, but there are more showers and storms back in western Wisconsin that could slide through during the morning hours. But I want to recap what happened with the storms last night. We had this one storm come off the bay. It slowed down over eastern Brown County, and then bam! Coming in from Outagamie County, another storm collides with it. And with the collision course of those two thunderstorms, we had this big cloud burst over the east side of Green Bay and eastern Brown County. And that's where, according to StormCenter to Viper, where you see the orange color here, that's 3 to 4 inches of rain. But sometimes the radar has a hard time determining whether these are little drops or big drops, and these were big drops. And that's why the rainfall totals were even higher, ranging from 3 to 7 inches of rain, and thus the quick high rising water and the flash flooding from overnight, which is receding early this morning. But stay with us, because coming up at 6:16, we're going to talk about the cooler and less humid air arriving for today. I'll give you a closer look at the Doppler radar and the storms that are going on right now. And we'll have to talk about storms that could be heavy Wednesday night going into Thursday. And now that time period is a weather-aware day. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Stephen. That flash flooding on Green Bay's east side forced people to evacuate overnight or shelter in place until the water receded.
And Kristen Allen has a breaking news update now on the emergency response.
She's also getting a look at what the conditions are like now.
Good morning. That's right. Well, I can tell you that things look a lot different right now this morning than they did overnight. In fact, the water has completely receded. We're on the east side here in the area of Oakdale Avenue and Henry Street at an apartment complex. And to give you an idea, you can see there's an orange piece of paper here on this door behind me. That's an evacuation notice on this door of an apartment unit here in this apartment complex. So this apartment complex was evacuated because of all the water and flooding that was happening over here in this area. Now, as I said, all the water has completely receded, and I did speak with Green Bay Police Department this morning, and they told me that there was no reports of standing water that they were aware of. So that is good news this morning. But as you guys said, it was a busy night for firefighters and rescue crews. It was all hands on deck. People called in on overtime to help with these evacuations. There was widespread flooding in people's basements, and as we said, obviously this apartment complex here was evacuated. Also, Bay Manor, an assisted living facility, was evacuated as well. So a busy night with those.
We had to evacuate about 32 residents from that building just because of the flooding alone. Some of the other areas that have been affected by flooding is Station 5, one of our stations, which will be out of commission for at least a few days, if not more. So there's a lot of buildings in that area that are right now kind of out of service.
And it could be a long day of a cleanup, long days of cleanup ahead. There was about 100 people, nearly 100 people in total who were evacuated. They were sent to Celebrations Church overnight as a shelter. On these evacuation notices on the door here behind me, it says these people can't come back until a Green Bay city inspector says that it is safe to do that. Reporting live in Green Bay, Kristen Allen, Action 2 News.
All right, and as you heard in Kristen's report, Green Bay Fire Station number 5 is affected by the flooding. That's the station on East Mason Street across from East Town Mall. The fire department tells us that all the station's 5 trucks are still in service, but they're running out of different stations to protect the city's east side.
A lot of the flooding is also affecting businesses on Main Street and East Mason, including grocery stores, a gym, several bars and restaurants. Customers were told to take shelter and stay in those businesses until the water receded.
A lot of those customers also ended up with their cars swamped in the parking lot.
I seen all the water and stranded vehicles, and I was like, no, my car is too new for that. But then I helped push out a car that was stranded in the middle of the road and pushed him to the speedway. Then I went and tried to help out with Quick Trip. It's waist high there, so it's pretty high.
Green Bay Police saying that all roads are back open, though, on the city's east side after that flooding, but watch out for pockets of standing water, they say. Action 2 News is going to be following the aftermath of this flooding for you throughout the day today.
TimeSaver Traffic, sponsored by North Star Mohican Casino Resort. There's more of what you're looking for at North Star Mohican Casino Resort.
Hi everyone, we start out in the Green Bay area. City streets on the east side of Green Bay, police tell us the water has receded there, but we're hearing about, we just got word about some flooding on GV on Monroe Road, and we have a crew working to get more information on that. But here's one spot where we do know that the highway is closed because of high water. County Highway X is closed west of County G, that's Dickinson Road. And here's your detour. You'll take 96, County W, and then County 00. And then a lot of information here, but what you need to know is that crews are going to be inspecting the Leo Frigo Bridge for the next 3 days from 9 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. So today, the right lane of northbound 43 will be closed. Tomorrow, the right lane in both directions and the southbound I-43 on-ramp from Atkinson will be closed. Thursday, the right lane of southbound 43 will be closed on the bridge. Steve?
All right, thank you, Catherine. As Catherine was telling you, there's still some areas that are dealing with some flash flooding from overnight. So with the possibility of standing water for your morning commute, plus some thunder showers, mainly south of Green Bay, it is a weather-aware day for your morning commute. Otherwise, Tuesday looks mostly cloudy and much cooler than yesterday with a high of 69 degrees. The cooler weather is courtesy of a cold front, which has now pushed its way into southern Wisconsin. In the wake of the front, we have another cluster of showers and storms moving across the state. While the heavier activity is back into west central Wisconsin, we do have some moderate rain in Calumet County, New Holstein south, all the way down towards the Campbellsport area. A couple little flashes of lightning there, but in general, that's all moving to the south and the east and is expected to weaken as the day moves along. You could see some strong thunderstorms came through Waushara, Marquette, Green Lake, and Fond du Lac counties. Those are heading down towards the Milwaukee area. There are more thunder showers back towards west central Wisconsin, and at times these will be passing through areas south of Green Bay. Now, speaking of Green Bay, here's the Doppler radar recap of the storms last evening. So we had this one storm come off the bay, and as it made its way onshore, it slowed down and then boom, right there. This storm out of Outagamie County collides with the Brown County storm, and as the two storms smack into each other, we get a big cloud burst right over the east side of Green Bay and eastern Brown County, where, according to StormCenter 2 Viper, in the orange shaded color here, that's 3 to 4 inches of rain. However, you probably know if you're out in that area, you probably had some higher totals than that because the Doppler radar sometimes has a hard time discerning small water droplets versus big water droplets. And let me tell you, we had some big drops coming out of those thunderstorm clouds yesterday. So that's why the rainfall totals ranged from 3 to as much as 7 inches. And we saw the serious flash flooding overnight. Looking ahead at 6:44, we'll talk about today's cooler and less humid weather. We'll give you a closer look at the Doppler radar, see the storms to the south right now. And we're also going to talk about heavy storms Wednesday night into Thursday. And that time period is now a weather-aware day. So please stay with us.
So flash flooding on Green Bay's east side overnight. Police telling us that all city roads, most of them are back open though. Most of the water has now receded, but there was so much of it last night. Dozens of cars getting swamped on East Mason Street and some other roads, as well as in parking lots.
Several homes, apartment buildings, and businesses were evacuated overnight because of the flooding. And firefighters tell us that 32 people had to be evacuated from the Bay Manor apartments on Bader Street. About 90 people evacuated in all. Firefighters using boats on city streets to get to some of those people. And a shelter this morning set up at Celebration Church on Humboldt Road. And we also have some developing TimeSaver traffic news, so let's get right over to Catherine.
Yeah, we're looking at the Green Bay area, and I want to take you south to Bellevue, where our Action 2 News crew is reporting some standing water on a pretty major road, Monroe Road, which is also County Highway GV here. Right at Hoffman Road, there's some standing water in that area. So an alternate route option for you might be to go through De Pere, perhaps Leibel or Webster, to head north in that area. But you do not want to drive through standing water. You just don't know how deep it is.
And it's time for the Morning Rush, nonstop news, weather, and traffic until the top of the hour. And the breaking news that we have been following, starting the Morning Rush here with new video showing the strength of last night's storm.
Look at that boat struggling to try to dock on the Fox River in Green Bay. The wind and the waves making it a tough task. And our viewer Kim Borpal sharing this video with us. Thanks. And yeah, wasn't that a storm if you're living in Green Bay, especially on the east side last night? Wow.
Yeah, it caused some major issues. More than 100 firefighters from Green Bay and surrounding communities helped with rescues and evacuations in the flooding overnight on Green Bay's east side.
And Green Bay Metro Fire Department says the area most affected is about 6 or 7 blocks around Main and Mason Streets. Some people could just walk out through the water. Firefighters, though, had to use boats on the city streets to reach other people. More than 90 people evacuated in all from homes and apartments.
Seeing water filling basements up to the first floor. We have what we call a strike team for WPS units to come in, because we have to get the gas shut off, we have to get electric shut off to these buildings because they are dangerous with the water in them.
Affected, and Kristen Allen live in Bellevue with the conditions there this morning.
Good morning. Yeah, we just got word of some of the standing water here on Monroe Road right behind me. Take a look and you can see it's on Monroe Road right near Hoffman Road here, kind of by the Quick Trip and the Sheriff's Office, the Brown County Sheriff's Office here. And you can see barrels up where this portion of Monroe Road is closed, and you can see just all that standing water. One side is a little bit worse than the other, but you can see all that water just on the road, and I can tell you that it is already creating some traffic problems here, because people, they get here and they're surprised to see this. They're not expecting the road to be closed here, so they have to turn around or find an alternate way to go. So a lot of them are turning into this driveway here by Quick Trip and going back around to where the Sheriff's Department is, and going back out on Hoffman there. So, and I'm sure it'll cause more problems throughout the morning as traffic does pick up. Something else we want to show you here across the way after the semi-truck passes is, if you look in the distance here, there is a dumpster over there and some water. You can see it looks like it was tipped over by some water there. So water creating some problems here in the Bellevue area. Now, as we said earlier, we talked to Green Bay Police that they didn't have any reports of standing water. We did obviously hear about this here. So while there may not be a lot of water left, do be careful and aware as you're heading out this morning, because you don't know when it could sneak up on you. Reporting live in Bellevue, Kristen Allen, Action 2 News.
All right, Kristen, thanks. And also on Green Bay's east side, Green Bay Fire Station number 5 is out of commission because of flooding. It's on East Mason Street. The fire department tells us all the trucks are still in service, but they are running out of different stations to protect the city's east side.
And Sarah Gillespie now taking us into the moment of the flooding and the emergency response. She was at the corner of Main and Newberry.
I'm just in a regular parking lot here as it continues to just swiftly move, hopefully pushing out of this area. A lot of homes and businesses in this area have seen this flooding, if not worse. I'm sure if I continued to walk even farther in here, I'm afraid I might slip as it's going higher and higher. Now edging toward the top of my shins here. So as I said, this is something that we have seen across Green Bay, businesses and homes flooding in this way, and that is why responders from all across northeast Wisconsin came out here, some with boats, others with their vehicles, working to make sure everybody was safe, even going door to door, knocking and making sure all the apartments and restaurants, businesses that were affected, people were able to get out safely. Reporting in Green Bay, Sierra Gillespie, Action 2 News.
All right, thanks, sir. We'll continue to cover the story for you throughout the day.